today I wanted to talk to everybody about doctrine and the importance of it. You know, a lot of people don't really quite understand the importance of doctrine because, you know, when a lot of people look at doctrine and you hear the type of people that talk about it, you think of old men, you think of like people that are real traditional, don't want you to have fun, that type of thing. But that's not really what it's like, and that's not really what it's about, okay? So now check this out, okay? I'm gonna use an analogy to what doctrine is like in the physical so you understand how important it is in the supernatural and in the spiritual, okay? Now check this out, okay? If we was building a building, okay? We were building a building. There are certain codes that you have to follow, okay? There's certain codes anywhere in the United States that you have to follow. You know, doors are 6 foot 8 inches tall, okay? You know, windows are, I believe they're 3 feet high, okay? The vents have to be spaced out a certain amount of, you know, distance so the building can get enough ventilation, okay? All these things are built in place so that the buildings can be made safe when they build them. There's certain codes people have to follow. And now some of these are more for just, you know, county to county, inspector type of stuff. But some of the stuff, if you don't follow some of these codes, your building can be destroyed. You can't build anything any kind of way, okay, because of how the laws of gravity work and stuff like that. You can't build anything any kind of way. But as long as you follow these codes, okay, you can build beautiful things, okay? I saw a building in Tennessee, okay, that was a building that was upside down. I saw it in Gatlinburg, okay? Now, I'm sure that it followed all the codes, the reason why it was allowed to be put up and people can be inside of it, okay? But without that, if it didn't follow the codes, okay, it would be a hazard to everybody that stepped foot in it, okay? And that's what it's like when people don't have a proper doctrine. And see, the problem is, if you build a building incorrectly, it falls on people. You build a bridge incorrectly, it falls on people, okay? But when people fall astray in their doctrine, you don't even find out the real consequences until they get into eternity and find out they're not going to be let in the gates, all because their doctrine went astray, okay? A lot of people don't take it that seriously. It's like aeronautics. You have to build the airplane in a certain way, and it has to be structurally sound to withstand the speeds. You have to get the lift to be able to get in the air to do what it's supposed to do, okay? So you have to combine this type of thinking with the way you interact with the Lord and the Spirit. Otherwise, you're going to do some things and be taken off the course, okay? You're going to be taken off the course, and sometimes you're not even going to know it, okay? I'm going to give you an example of this in the Bible, okay? It's a very scary thing. It can be life or death if the doctrine ain't proper, okay? That's why that's why you have to use Scripture, okay, to judge Scripture. That's why people take Scriptures out of context so much, because they don't have a holistic view of doctrine in Scripture. Using Scriptures to interpret Scriptures to make sure you lining it up properly so you see the character of God in his real form. Otherwise, you set yourself up to be praying to another deity or following Christianity, and you trick by following Satan and the demonic forces, masking themselves as angels of light because you don't know the doctrine. Another thing, the problem you run into if you don't know the doctrine, I'm about to get to the Scripture in a second, okay? You're susceptible to elementary tricks, okay? You're susceptible to elementary tricks. It's amazing that there are preachers that get up there and make millions of dollars tricking people on first level Bible 101 questions that if they knew and understand that, they know that this is a false teacher. But because they don't know doctrine, you have grown 60, 70-year-old men following other men into damnation because they don't know doctrine, just like the Bible talks about, my people perish for lack of knowledge. Okay, now, my last example before I close, I'm going to go over in Scripture how serious doctrine is and how misinterpreting doctrine can lead you the wrong way. We're going to go to Genesis 3, okay? Genesis 3, the chapter when Eve and Adam fell by eating the fruit. Now check this out. A lot of people don't recognize this, okay? There's a lot of details in here a lot of people don't see, okay? It was brought to my attention one day, a video I saw, and now I'm expanding on beyond what they said and bringing it into the perspective of doctrine. Now check this out, right? So in Genesis, the 3rd chapter, okay, we all know what the rule was. God said, you shall not eat of the fruit of the tree of knowledge and the tree of good and evil, Okay, any other fruit you can eat, but don't eat of those fruit, right? That's what it says. Now that's what God said to him. Okay, now check this out. When Satan came to tempt Eve, okay, he said that you won't die, right? Now check this out. The response to this is very interesting. A lot of people miss this, okay? Satan asked her, so did God really say, right? Now check this out. This what was Eve's response. Eve said, you shall not touch. You should not even touch the fruit. Okay, that's what Eve said. Now check this out. That set her up because she misinterpreted what God actually said. He didn't say you couldn't touch it. He said not to eat it. So because she was believing something about what he said that wasn't quite what he said, that made her susceptible to taking the rules into her own hands. Because she made a rule that wasn't his rule, and now she feels the freedom to touch the fruit. Oh, I'm fine. I'm good to go. So then that weakened her ability to be able to see the consequences, because she touching the fruit and now nothing happened. Now she feel free to eat the fruit. All because, check this out, she made up a rule and interpretation of what God said instead of remembering what he actually said, setting her up to fall off. And that's an example of how when you don't have the doctrine right, when you don't have the scriptures lined up, you can go astray. And it's been around since the beginning. That's what I wanted to say. That's why we got to focus on our doctrine. We got to make sure that's strong. We got to be like Bereans, that was more honorable than Thessalonica. We got to research our scriptures, check the scriptures, make sure we in line with Christ. That's my message. Take care.